What's up, guys? Back with a new discussion time. Just to let everyone know, as far as going forward, I'm going to be doing this series of videos for discussion time on Sundays and Wednesdays, and if there's anything else outside of that, like a different subject, I'll just post it as a separate video, but that could be any day. So but yeah, going forward is for this series, so I'm going to be uploading on Sundays and Wednesdays, just so I've got a bit of a routine. And yeah, so this one is going to be on police brutality, in response to Anitas Mckown. I think that's how you say your name, right? And your question was, what do you think about issues of police brutality and killings that almost seem to be rising in the number of incidences? Are people resisting and not complying with the police a great deal, or are the police just acting beyond their powers? Also, do you think this is correct punishment for cops who kill in these incidents? Right, obviously it's a different case over here to in America. Our cops, for the most part, don't have guns. They only usually have them for sort of high risk, like threats on the country, like terrorist attacks and like drug raids and things like that. So I definitely start off. We don't have it as bad over here as far as killings by the police. We do have a few, but nowhere near the amount that you lot have in America. And that's just simply down to the guns. Where I stand on this is, I grew up, like a lot of people do, believing in the police, that they're there to protect you, and that they're there to keep you safe, and you should have every confidence in them. As I've got older, I've seen a lot of shit with the police that simply just does not make me trust them. They're inhuman to people. They think that they're above people because they wear a uniform. They protect paedophiles, like the politicians. They definitely act outside of their oath they take as a police officer. A lot of it's geared towards money. They will do anything for money, pretty much. So personally, I've never had a run-in with a police officer like that, but I know I've seen a lot of things on YouTube over in this country of instances where like bailiffs come and remove goods from your house. The police officers are meant to be there acting as a breach of the peace, so there's no fighting and sort of harm caused to anyone. But on certain circumstances, in some of the videos I've watched, they actually assist the bailiffs, and they have no right to do that. But they prey on people that don't know the law, vulnerable people, a lot of old people, because they know that they'll just give in to them and do what they say. They act in groups. Like, the amount of times I've seen, like, probably about 10 officers or more for one person, even if it's not got to a violent point, because they just act as intimidators. They are basically a thug operation for the most part. You rarely get a police officer that will listen to your side of things and act accordingly. I think it's definitely got worse over the years, and it's just getting worse. There used to be a lot more breach of the peace and public servant, because that's what they are. They're a public servant, but they definitely act outside of their oath. We've had a few cases over here in the UK where people end up dying in prison cells and jail cells, and a lot of the time the officers that are questioned on it don't get any sort of punishment at all. They won't even get fines or anything like that. It's very rare that you see anything about it in the papers. They won't put stuff like that in the papers because they know that it makes them look bad. I mean, this obviously all got quite popular with the Rodney King thing. I think ever since then people have definitely wised up and filmed police officers a lot more, which I think is the right thing to do. But even then, I've seen videos where police officers don't want to be filmed, and you have a right to film them. And sometimes they will touch your personal property, they will assault you, they will try and delete your footage because they know it will incriminate them. I've seen some shocking things, to be honest. I can't remember the guy's name. Watched a video quite recently of a homeless man that was kind of mentally retarded, and they asked him to move on, and they beat him to death. And in the video, he's screaming out for his dad, and it's disgusting what these people do. And there's people in the video watching, not even helping the guy, because everyone's scared of them. Like, I would have risked it myself, and I risked getting locked up because they're in the wrong. Where's their morals? It's disgusting. Obviously, we're very lucky over here. Just for the sake that we don't have the gun laws that you lot have over there, so we get less cases of people getting shot and things like that. But we still get cases where people get beaten by police, and like I said, where people end up dying in the cells, and there's information there that people won't speak on, and it's all very snaky and suspicious. I definitely think over in America, though, you will never progress unless these gun laws are taken away or even decreased in some way, but I just can't see it ever happening. So I feel sorry for you guys a lot. Like, we've got shit over here, this country's a mess over here, but if we had the gun laws that you have, it would be crazy. It's just they think they're above people. They can do what they want because they wear a uniform and a badge. But at the end of the day, they're a public servant, and they're there to serve the public. Another case as well in the videos I watch, people will ask them to identify their police numbers and their names and stuff. And sometimes they'll give them their like badge numbers, but a lot of the time they won't give them their name. And that is our right as a public person to ask them, as they're a public servant. They're supposed to answer our questions, and a lot of the time they won't, and then they're acting outside of their oath. So it's just crazy. I think people do comply with the police a lot because they're scared of them. They intimidate people. They come out in groups, and they're basically a thug operation. They definitely act beyond their powers. I think, personally, I'm very old school when it comes to punishment. I think that there should be, like, I wouldn't just lock them up. I'd torture them. They torture people by what they wreck people's lives, and they don't give a shit, and they don't get punished for it. So we should be able to do the same. Just because they wear a uniform and a badge, they get protection. And it's wrong. Public execution, that's personally what I'd do. Same with the paedophiles, the rapists. But unfortunately in this country, it's run by snotty, upper class, corrupt politicians that have paedophilia rings. The BBC is in on it. The royal family are in on it. They were really close with Jimmy Savile. It's disgusting. but they're the people in power because they've got all this money. And then they go on about not legalising weed over here because of the problems and it's a drug. Why is there tobacco and alcohol available then that's worse for you? Why do all these corrupt politicians and MPs and prime ministers go to private parties and sniff coke? Why does nothing ever get publicised in the papers about that? Why is this all hidden? There's a lot of questions out there that need to be asked but never get answered because there's just corruption everywhere. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Anitas. Let me know your thoughts on it. Everyone leave comments. I'm very passionate about this, so I'm glad that you asked this question because it's definitely something I feel strongly about. So watch out for the be Sunday now that when I do the next discussion. Not sure if I'm going to do a video in between then or not. I mean, I uploaded one yesterday, so it'll probably be Sunday now. Yeah, share the vids, like it. I appreciate everyone's support, and I'll see you soon.